Hey guys, good morning. Happy Monday. So we actually only have two more topics to talk about before your test on Friday. Remember, you're not in school tomorrow, Tuesday, so we'll cover one today, and then the last one on Wednesday. You're going to review on Thursday and test Friday. So I made a video on problem number 1 for the homework over the weekend. I posted it to my YouTube channel, so go check it out. That way you remember what we did. And today we're actually going to talk about standard form to vertex form and vertex form to standard form. We're going to convert between the two because you may just like one more than the other. And you're like, okay, how do I convert to the other form? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So you should have your page 15 given to you. Hey, Mr. Juice, good morning. So here we go. Let me minimize my face. Okay. So, nope, that's the back. Okay, here's the front. Page 15. We are going to convert these quadratic equations. What form are they in? Ooh, parentheses, parentheses. These are in a vertex form. These are in vertex form. We are going to convert them to standard form. So remember, standard form looks like this. Ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, that's standard form. So how in the world are we going to get this thing to look like that? If you thought of, let's multiply it out. You are totally right. So we need to multiply out the squared. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot distribute the squared to the x and the 3. Okay, you have to multiply out this binomial. Yes, binomial, two terms, x and a positive 3 is a binomial. So remember, squared means it's multiplied by itself 2 times. So it looks like this. How do you multiply a binomial times a binomial? Well, there's multiple methods, but I'm going to just use the box. So I'm going to multiply x plus 3 times another x plus 3. So x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 3 times x is 3x. And a positive 3 times a positive 3 is a positive 9. So when you add all this together, you get y equals, I got x squared plus, you see these two terms? They are like terms. I need to combine them together. So a 3x plus a 3x, 3 plus 3 is 6x. And then I have my constant, the 9 plus 9. And that, my friends, is how you convert vertex form to standard form. You just multiply it out. See, I got my ax squared plus bx plus c. It looks like standard form. Okay, that was pretty easy, but what about number 2? Notice number 1 had an h value, but it did not have a k value. Number 2 has an h value and it has a k value. So what in the world do you do with that? Well, I'll show you. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the squared and write it out fully. So x minus 3 times x minus 3. And then I have this plus 2 hanging out in the back. So I can't add the 2 to this negative 3 because of these parentheses. So I need to multiply this out first and then add the 2. So let's go ahead and multiply this out. So I'm going to come out here to the side and draw a box. So I've got x minus 3 and x minus 3. Okay, so I got x times x, which is x squared. X times negative 3 is a negative 3x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x, again. Negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. Okay, so let's go ahead and put what we got. So I got an x squared. I got a negative 3x and a negative 3x, which adds together to be a negative 6x. And I got a positive 9. But don't forget, I have this plus 2 just chilling. So I need to add a 2 in the back. So when I put it together, I get y equals x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus 2, which is 11. So this is my final answer from vertex form to standard form. Okay? So I want you to pause this video, and I want to see if you can get number 3. Ready, go. Okay, my friends, let's see. Number 3. Did you get y equals x squared plus 10x plus 21? If you did, awesome sauce. If not, we may need to practice multiplying binomials together. And don't forget, you had a minus 4 in the back that you should have subtracted with that 25. Okay, let's move on to things that look like number 4 through 6. Notice in numbers 1 through 3, in the front, the a value, there was nothing there. It was a positive 1 in 1, 2, and 3. But check out 4, 5, and 6. In this vertex form, look at this a value. This a value is negative 1. Number 5 is a positive 2. And number 6 is a negative 3. So what do we do with those when we're multiplying? In what order do we multiply them? Let's do it. Let's do number 4. Okay, you see this negative sign? We can't multiply it into the parentheses until the parentheses are gone. So here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to keep it on the end. I'm going to go ahead and write this out twice because that's what the squared means. And then I got the minus 1 in the back. Okay. Couple of things you can do here. You can multiply this negative into the first set of parentheses, but not both. It doesn't go to both. There's not 2 negatives. There's just 1. But what I like to do, what I think is easier, is to just keep the negative in the front and multiply the x plus 4 and x plus 4 together, so I don't have to worry about any extra negatives. Okay, so I'm going to come out to the side and do x plus 4 times x plus 4, x plus 4, x plus 4. So x times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. 4 times x is 4x. And 4 times 4 is 16. So when I put this back into the parentheses, I get x squared. I have 4x and 4x, which makes 8x. And then I have a constant of 16. Then I have my minus 1 chilling on the outside. Okay. Now what I do is I distribute this negative to everything inside the parentheses. So it's going to look like this. Negative times x squared is a negative x squared. Negative times a positive 8x is a negative 8x. And a negative times a positive 16 is a negative 16. And then I still have this minus 1 out here. So the only thing that are like terms now is this negative 16 and the negative 1. So I can combine those together. So I get negative x squared minus 8x minus 17. And I don't have any more like terms, so that, you guys, is it. I took vertex form and I converted it to standard form. Notice that I have a negative a value here, and I started with a negative a value. That will always be the case, okay? So if you start with a negative, you will end with a negative a value. So look at number 5. Number 5 has a positive 2. Do you think it's any different process like this negative? No, it's the same process. Instead of multiplying out a negative, you just multiply everything through with a positive 2. So let's do that one real quick, and then I'm going to get you to do number 6, which has a negative and a number on it. Okay, so we got y equals 2, and then x plus 1 twice because it's squared, and a plus 8. Okay, remember what I said. You can do this 2 ways, but I like to keep the 2, multiply the x plus 1s out first. So x times x is x squared. X times 1 is 1x. And 1 times x is 1x. So 1 plus 1 gives you 2x. 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, so I think you might be seeing the pattern of how to multiply the same binomial with itself. It's x times x, which is x squared. The 2 back ones, you add them. So 1 plus 1 is 2. And then for the third term, you multiply them. 1 times 1 is 1. So that's how you get this rather easily. But if you can't remember that, that's fine. Just use the box to multiply it out. Okay, now I'm going to distribute the 2. So 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times positive 2x is a positive 4x. And 2 times a positive 1 is a positive 2. Remember, I still have this positive, the plus 8 on the end. So combining like terms, I have a 2x squared still, a plus 4x, and then a 2 plus 8, which gives me a positive 10. So notice on this, when I converted vertex form to standard form, check out the a value. The a value is 2, and the a value is 2. It matches, okay? All right, last one, number 6. I want you to pause the video and see if you can do this one. Ready, go. Okay, you guys, that one was a little doozy. I hope you watched your signs and were very careful when you distributed things. So let's see if you got it. So I got it step by step. Whoops, not that one. So the first step I got is I multiplied out this binomial x minus 6. So I got y equals negative 3 parentheses x squared minus 12x plus 36, close parentheses, plus 15. So that one you got to be very careful of your signs. Next, I got y equals negative 3x squared plus 36x minus 108 plus 15. I distributed the negative 3 all the way down. And then last but not least, I combined my 2 constants at the end and got y equals negative 3x squared plus 36x minus 93. And that, guys, is the final answer. So I converted vertex form to standard form, and check it out, my a value is still the same. Do you remember what the negative does in the graph? Yes, it reflects it. What about this 3, an a value of 3? Do you remember what that does? It is a vertical stretch. Okay, so go ahead and tune in to the next video and flip your paper over, and we're going to talk about converting the opposite way. We're going to have standard form and go backwards to vertex form. Okay, see you, bye.